Hey guys, good evening, good afternoon. How are you guys doing today? It's based on your thought energy focus. So what you focus on, you will create. So say for example, you lose focus and you start to think negative. You were creating a reality of attracting a lot of money through the lottery. If you lose your focus and something happens, your family member, they get you distracted, what happens, Mark? Do I have to start all over? No, the minute you lose focus, you're back in a superposition state. That means the quantum particle, the matter, it freezes, it stops. It's right there still existing. And until you go back, you pick back up where you left off. See that? So you never have to start all over. So if anybody tells you or anyone teaches that, hey, you have to start over, you have to use the physics, it's impossible to do that because quantum particles create you and I and associate everything in our reality. Keep in mind, the things that creates that look real are created from things that are not physically real. I mean, they're energy. So everything begins from a particle and an energy standpoint. So that is what happens. So now, here's a big question. So how fast you manifest your desires, now it depends on you. Let's go back to the movie format. You can either finish your movie in 1 hour, which you can get your desire in months, weeks, even maybe a year, or you can finish your movie in 3 hours, which means even years or decades. It just depends on your ability to what? To not get distracted by your conditioned ego mind. The minute you're distracted, and here's some of the forms your ego distracts you with: fear, doubt, worry, time, it's the biggest one. How? Why? Trying to figure out the intricate details. If you're doing that, you're in a superposition state of pause. That means you're in your ego. That means you're not creating. In other words, let's get to the point. You're just referring to your subconscious mind as, hey guy, I got this, I don't need you, I will use my conditioned analytical thinking mind to do it, and here's where you're wrong. Can't figure it out, man. That mind is limited, so you're wasting time. So why not focus and keep your mind in the present? Well, the name of the particle is Higgs boson. It's based on the physicist that discovered it. And this particle we discovered now is the particle that is responsible for giving mass to every particle in our universe. Everything. Without this particle, nothing exists. That's why we call it the God particle. It's a particle that is responsible for giving mass to everything. Without mass, you cannot have completion. Okay? So what's so important about that? Well, now we know that everything has a cause and effect. Just like we were learning in quantum physics. There's another proof. With a cause becomes an effect. So whatever you focus on, you create that cause, that energy, the momentum. The effect will be the results of what you focus on with thought energy. Anything included. Okay? So the Higgs boson showed us that there is an intelligent creator or God that creates and designs everything for us. It has a cause and effect. So everything you do, you will have a cause and you will create the effect. So if you can cause somebody to get wealthy, cause somebody to get a desire before you, then your effect will come back from the universe multiplied. It's just a natural law of physics, my friends. So keep that in mind. Here's something else to keep in mind. You and I weren't even supposed to be here. We weren't even supposed to exist, but yet we are. How do we know this? Well, physicists, we've just recently discovered this again. We just recently discovered that we weren't supposed to be here. A few months ago, maybe up to a year. What happens is we've discovered that the Big Bang is when everything started to manifest. The Big Bang created everything, energy, light. That's when God activated the Big Bang. Boom, our universe was created. That's the cause. Here's something we learned. Every particle has a counterparticle. So we have matter, we have antimatter. You and I, we're based on carbon. So we're a carbon particle. So we're on a positive spectrum. We're a matter. And then you have antimatter, which has the probability of universes existing in antimatter format, meaning the opposite of you, opposite of me. Probability. But here's what happens now. In order for everything to exist, we must have both equal parts. Matter, antimatter. Okay? In other words, it won't exist. But here's the thing about matter and antimatter. They cannot come together. If they meet, they create an explosion. They destroy everything. Okay? Because two particles are not they're not attractive, or they're not balanced together. But we do need them to exist. But here's the thing now. When the Big Bang occurred, there were more antimatter rather than matter. We just discovered that. So now we're scratching our head and saying, wait a minute. There's more antimatter than matter. It's impossible for us to be here, but yet we are still here. Think about that. Equal parts have to exist in order for us to be here, but yet matter, there was more antimatter than matter. That means If there's more antimatter, the antimatter apparently destroyed the matter, therefore we cannot be here. So it needs to be more matter than antimatter, okay, or equal portions. But the opposite now is more antimatter than matter. What does that show us? Well, it shows us that there is something or someone or some intelligent force, God, the universe, intelligent designer, that we are here for a purpose. Everything you're witnessing and experiencing means that you were brought here to create, to prosper, to teach, to help. And you do this with what is given as your consciousness, especially your subconscious higher self, that part that exists in that quantum dimension. So keep that in mind, guys. Now we know that we aren't supposed to be here, yet we are here. What does that say about us? What does that say about the science? Well, now we're scratching our heads, because now we're saying, wow. So now it's forcing science to think on a new level, to accept that there has to be a creator, an intelligent designer, which I believe is God, and he's the one that creates and manifests everything, okay? And you have the power. I give it to you to prosper. Look, the reason why you're in lack and the reason why you're in scarcity is how your mind works, because you were taught and conditioned to believe it. See, the reason why I'm bringing this stuff out right now, guys, is because there's only 10% of the world's population that has access or knows this secret. 90% of every individual in the world has no idea how it works. Okay, now you have the power to create and master your mind. Okay, this is how it works. Now with this website I've created, now you can use the tools to achieve it. You can start to actually bring it in, to attract it now. Okay, so remember that you are here for a purpose. You weren't meant to be suffering lack. The reason why you were lack is because how you were conditioned. So what we have to do, we have to form a new radical way to think. That's what I'm teaching you here, a radical way to think, because it all begins with perception. Now we know what reality really is. Now we know how everything is formed, and now we know how all things come together. And once you can put it in with thought, energy, focus, emotion, feelings, boom, will manifest. All right. So the website, markhaughton.com, and also feel free to be a member of the Facebook group which I've created, which is growing tremendously now because of so much results that are being produced, because this is how the universe works. Look, this cannot fail. Cannot. It's impossible. If you follow the procedures, you cannot fail. It's a scientific fact. This is how it's proven. This is how the universe works. Everything is in a cosmic order. And once you do this and apply it, you will see for yourself. Now you can reach the website, the Facebook group, Manifesting Lottery Winnings Using Consciousness and Law of Attraction. And I'll put a description again. I'll post a link to the website, markhaughton.com. Visit, learn, create, and master. So now you know another myth that's been broken, that you do not have to start over. It's impossible. What you desire has already been created. It's just there. All you do is put your thought energy to it and get out from the ego. That's all it says. The less you're distracted, the faster it comes. The more you're distracted, the longer it takes. It's that simple. One mind create, one doesn't. Higher mind, subconscious, creates. Ego mind, reality, illusion, cannot create. Okay? So keep those in mind, guys. And I will keep the new videos coming so you guys can have awareness. So now you can shift your way to a new revolutionary way to think, how to think. And this will create your desired life.